Hey guys, good morning. A little bit of a different video today. I'm curious if anybody out there is as tired as I am at how expensive crankbaits are for trolling. If you're fed up with it too, stick around. You might like some of this video. All right, so let me just say, I've only recently started trolling for crappie. I love fishing for crappie. It's my favorite fish to pursue. But if I'm being honest, usually once the spawn or a little bit of the post-spawn season has passed, I don't want to say lost interest, but I lacked some of the techniques that made it a little bit easier to go out and catch a good limit of crappie. So when I got this new boat this year, I put like a live scope system on it, got some better graphs on it, so I'm getting better at just doing that. But I also picked up trolling crankbaits this year, and I fish a lot here in Missouri. I fish a lot on Truman Lake. I fish some on Lake of the Ozarks. I fish up at Mark Twain, kind of in north central Missouri. And I fish other lakes around here. And a lot of them have one thing in common, and that's timber. They've got a lot of standing timber in them. And obviously a result of that when you're trolling 6 or 8 crankbaits behind you is that sometimes they get hung up. And I've been fortunate sometimes to be able to get them to pop off and continue. But I've lost, man, I probably lost a good 10 already, and I've only been out probably 4 or 5 trips. So on average, I'm probably losing 2 crankbaits a trip. Well, when I looked at the crankbaits and the cost of them, at least the ones I was buying, which are the Bandit 200 and 300s, the Flicker Shad 5s and 7s, some of the Arkies. Arkies are a little bit less expensive. I think I've been using the Arkie 320s, and they're maybe close to $3.50, $4. But the Flicker Shads, a lot of times, they're going to be around $7 a piece. The Bandits are that much or north of that. So it's not that I can't afford those crankbaits. I mean, I certainly can. It's just that every time I do lose one, it's like a punch to the gut. And I don't know if you guys experience the same. Some of you out there, it's just like, man, I get so disappointed, frustrated, whatever, that I just lost a $7 or $8 crankbait. The other day I was down at Truman and I lost 2 crankbaits on the same tree. And I was just fit to be tied. I know it's part of the journey. I understand that, but suffice it to say that I started looking for other crankbaits that were similar to the Bandits and the Flicker Shad, and I ended up purchasing some. So that's kind of what this video is going to be about. I'm just going to cover some of these other crankbaits that I've purchased recently. I'll get into kind of the cost on them. And the one thing about these that I just purchased is that they haven't been tested by me. I haven't taken them out. As a matter of fact, some of them I don't even think cover the distance or the depth that they'll dive on the site. So a lot of it's kind of a mystery. I just know that they closely resemble some of these other baits that I've been using, and they're a lot less expensive. So let's dive into it. Okay, so here are the first ones that I purchased. These are the ones that I found that are closely resemblance to the Flicker Shad 7s. So you'll see this one here, the one up top. This is a Flicker Shad 7. I don't know if you'll be able to read that or not, but it's upside down. So this one is a Flicker Shad 7. Beautiful coloring, obviously. I mean, there's absolutely nothing wrong with the makeup of this bait. Kind of a holographic on the side there. It looks kind of like a shad. 2 really nice hooks. So let's compare one of these also. This is a similar one to this one. As you can see, it might even be kind of like a replica of it. It's kind of holographic on the side again. It's got the black stripe. It's got the little black dot behind the gills. Kind of a reddish eye. I mean, at first glance, there's definitely some differences. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that it's an exact replica, but taking a look at the bill. Again, I haven't tested these. I just purchased them and received them yesterday, but I'm looking forward to getting them out. So the Flicker Shad there on the left, and the other one there on the right. So you can see the Flicker Shad has more of the sides of the bill are straighter before it makes the round towards the front, whereas this one over here on the right, it tends to go out wider rather than a straight line. It comes out wider, but again, very similar. I'm sure there's some differences in the dive or the depth. I also noticed that the split ring on the Flicker Shad here looks like it's set back a little bit further in the bill than this one here on the right. Again, I'm sure that has some difference in the dive, but anyway, you can see, I mean, they're pretty darn close, like size-wise. These here that I purchased, these 10 came in a set of 10, and they broke down to $1.60 a piece. Okay, so each one of these was $1.60. Of course, like I said earlier, Flicker Shad a lot of times is $7 a piece, unless you can find them on sale or something like that. And I'm sure there's some sales out there from time to time. But so these that I just purchased, they're about 3.9 inches long, which is exactly what the Flicker Shad is. So again, I'm not here to beat down any of these big companies. That's not what the goal of this is. This is simply my personal, I hate to even call it a frustration, but just the fact of losing an expensive crankbait while I'm fishing for crappie. It's just probably me being a little bit tight more than anything, but I just thought it was something that I could kind of look into and maybe address a little bit. And if I lose $1.60 crankbait, of course, to me, that's probably not going to hurt near as much as losing a $7, $8, $9, $10 one. So I'm going to give these a shot and see how they do, see how they perform. I'll put out another video. I'll be fishing with some of these this coming week, doing some more trolling on a couple of lakes around here. So I'll definitely be able to report back and hopefully capture some of these in use. But let's get into the next one that I bought. Take a look at it. All right, so these are the next ones that I purchased to kind of emulate the Bandit 300. Again, I know these aren't going to be exact. That wasn't my goal, to try to be exact with the sizing and everything. But again, just looking for cheaper options out there to give a try. So clearly the one at the top here is a Bandit 300. And you can see the profile is a little bit smaller than the 8 down here. The 8 came in a pack. It's an 8-pack. Most of the time when I'm buying these Bandit 300s, they're anything from $6.79-ish up to $8 and some change, depending on where I'm picking them up. So that's the cost on the Bandit 300s, at least for me. And again, I'm sure you can find them on sale from time to time, but generally they're going to be almost $7 to $8 or $9 a piece, depending on whether you're getting them at like a Bass Pro or a local bait shop or whatever. These down here, these 8 came in a kit, and they're about $1.65 a piece. So each one of these is $1.65, and you can see some detail on those. Nice 3D eyes, look to be plenty sufficient hooks. Nice and shiny, good paint job. Again, nice shiny eyes, nice clear coat. I've seen this one here, I believe, in a bomber style, bomber version baits. A crawl color. They've all got rattles in them. At least 2 to 3 BBs, I think. Yeah, so that's these. Like I said, they're about $1.65 a piece delivered. So, well, this isn't going to be for everybody. You know, people are just going to want to stick with what they know, and I may as well. But I want to at least give myself an opportunity to test out a few new crankbaits, see what I think of them. As far as the bill on each of these. Again, similar, but not exact. So again, I'm expecting a little bit different performance. Hopefully not in much of a negative way, but you know, time will tell. These new ones are about 0.55 ounces, these here, and the Bandit 300s are closer to 0.4 ounces a piece. The Bandits are roughly 3.5 inches long from the end of the body to the tip, and these here are about 3.95. So what is that, roughly a half inch longer. May not look like it, but that's what the measurements say when I looked them up just now. So yeah, that's the ones I'm going to try to kind of replicate a little bit for the Bandit 300s. And again, it comes in a nice variety of color tones, so looking forward to testing those out. And that'll be coming up in an upcoming video here pretty soon. I'll be giving some more of these cranks a troll behind the boat and see what I think. All right, so this is the last group that I bought. So again, this is the Bandit 300 up top. Pretty clear to see that these are larger crankbaits, which again is just something that I opted to try. They got the nice 3D eyes again. Some really nice coloring on them. Nice paint job. Seem to be nice and sharp treble hooks. The bill seems well machined, so shouldn't be any issues there. So these are just over 4 inches long, 4.1 inches long. Again, compared to the Bandit 300, which is only 3.5 inches long. And these weigh just over half an ounce, 0.53 ounces, I believe. So compared to 0.4-ish on the Bandit 300s, a little bit heavier, a little bit bigger. So I'm not sure if that's going to mean it's going to dive a little bit deeper, but you know, upsizing a little bit, it'll be interesting to see if maybe these will catch, you know, some larger crappie by chance. I'm sure they'll catch some other fish as well, largemouth, but that's not uncommon on a Bandit 300 either. So with these being upsized a little bit, I'm kind of interested to see if at all I might notice an increase in maybe larger crappie even. So it's certainly worth a try. I'm a little bit intrigued. And this set right here, these 5 come in their own little, if you wanted to use it, I likely won't, but they did come in this little kit right here, so that was kind of a nice little function. But yeah, so again, just wanted to share what I purchased, and kind of curious if anybody else has some of these same thoughts as I do in terms of just feeling like you got punched in the gut when you lose an $8 crankbait or 2 or 3 or 4 on a trolling trip. Like I said, I'm fairly new to trolling, not something that I've done a ton of, but I just thought I'd give this a shot. And I got all these on Amazon, so I'll post a link in the description to each of them. And I'm interested in your thoughts. If you've already done this, if you got a favorite out there that you've purchased that's a lot less expensive. Not sure if I said it, but these here, these are just under $2 a piece. So I got 5 of them, and they were like $9.95. So just under $2 a piece for these crankbaits. Regardless, I mean, that's unheard of as far as I'm concerned. And I get the whole argument of, you know, but I mean, let's be honest, let's get real. All of these major manufacturers for crankbaits are pulling their crankbaits from other countries, you know, whether it be whatever, China, Taiwan, you get the idea, Bangladesh. I mean, so to me it's no different. These are just super inexpensive compared to the name brand ones that I've been buying. It's almost like, I feel like, you know, when a bulk manufacturer's getting them for, let's say, $1.25 a piece, and then sell them to me for $9 a piece, the markup on that is incredible. When essentially, and again, I get that we're not necessarily talking apples to apples, but essentially, you know, they're making, you know, pretty significant profit. I get that they got overhead costs and storage costs and transportation costs, but regardless of all that, I'm looking forward to trying these out. Like I said, I'll put the description, put the links to these in the description, and interested in your thoughts. Let me know if you got any input. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please do so. Give it a thumbs up. That really helps the algorithm. Commenting helps the algorithm as well. I appreciate that, and I look forward to putting these behind the boat soon. So hope you'll join me then.